How do I look?
Like a hood ornament.
Is the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast.
Hello! This is the episode 192 of the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast. And I'm doing these long time pauses like William Shatner. No, I'm sorry. How are you doing, Martin? We just having a chat about what we're doing today, and we're actually coming back for a show. It's going to be our last show. We're going to have a break for a little while, aren't we, Martin? Basically, we're going to have a bit of a quiet summer break just to recharge our batteries and do things in our personal lives, perhaps get some sunshine, because the UK country's weather is absolute shite this year. So we're looking forward to that. But before then, we've got two things. We're obviously going to be reviewing a film. This week is going to be The Rocketeer, which Martin got me to watch, which I enjoyed. And we're going to be talking about The Acolytes. But we might also, during our break, come back for a special and talk about The Acolyte, because that's a bit of a mixed bag as well. But before we go into all that, co-host, demigod of science fiction knowledge, having it looks like he's having a cherry Coke. I don't know what he's drinking there. Oh, I like Dr. Pepper. Hello, Martin. How are you?
Hello. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you. How's things in your part of the world? Is it wet and dreary and
miserable and grey skies and no sun?
Oh dear. Well, this is it, isn't it? It's not good, is it? Oh, okay. So I haven't got much to talk about. You went to a very.
Do you mind if I reveal my M16? I want to reveal it.
Yeah. Okay. So Martin, do you want to give some background about where you got this from, or what happened? How did you get this?
Well, I picked up that it's not real. It's
not real. It's not real.
It's M16 assault rifle and a display piece to go on the wall.
And obviously, if you listen to this on audio, you can't obviously see it, but it's very, very nice. It's very shiny and black, isn't it?
Well, it is, yeah. It reminds me when I was back there. So there you go. Yeah. So
you're looking very serious. Then that is going to be something you're going to use as a potential weapon against.
I picked it up. No, it's not illegal. It's totally illegal. It's not real. It's an imitation.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, if it was real, then I don't think you'd be showing
it's going on the wall with the others, so I'm quite excited about one.
So, what others do you have on the wall already?
I've got. I don't know if you can say. I've got an Alien's Pulse rifle.
I remember you going about that. Yeah.
And I've got a Winchester rifle.
Right.
That's a replica, and I've got a Planet of the Apes rifle.
What, from the classic movies?
Yeah, from the classic.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, okay, that must be good.
Yeah.
Have you? Because Malcolm, he's got the V disruptor gun from the original classic. Yeah. I love the V gun. Have you got the V gun?
No, I did have the V gun years ago. I also have the helmet with the. I was going to build a costume for a convention.
Oh, what, the gold helmet or the black helmet from?
Yeah, the gold one.
Oh, yeah.
And I
can't bit of V.
I've got the Babylon 5 PPG. I've got Logan's Run's gun.
What about a Zat Nicotel? Would you get one of those?
I've had a Zat Nicotel.
Oh, I'd love to get a Zat Nicotel. That'd be cool.
Impressive.
Wasn't it? You got the disruptor from the Invaders as well, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I've got that here. Yeah.
Is he going to show it? Oh, they are. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Didn't your mate make that or something? Somebody made that.
Well, I bought this off Etsy. You can't get them. They're very rare.
And that's a season 1 disruptor, isn't it? Like, season 2 is smaller, wasn't it?
TV gun, yes. So that's, and then I got the season 2. So that's the season. And to top it off, if you want to I've got all the memorabilia for the Invaders.
Oh, yeah. Have you got any Star Trek phasers?
Yes, I have. Yes, I've got quite a few.
Because there's quite a few different models, and I quite like the 24th century ones, I think. So, anyway, you're very lucky you got lots of stuff, and I would love to get some more stuff like that from my house, but I still love my makeshift TARDIS, the customized TARDIS, which was made.
Very nice.
And that was really well.
Very classy, is that?
Oh, it's lovely. I really love it, and it's It was really cool. What I should have done is when I opened it, I should have actually filmed me opening it and all that sort of stuff that you get on YouTube. But I just couldn't wait and stuff like that. But anyway, so shall we go into any science fiction news? There's one bit of news which is quite potentially interesting, and that is that Paramount has been purchased. There's a big business deal with is it Skydance? What's the company that's potentially buying Paramount? I think it's
I
Skydance.
thought they were banned.
What happened was they made an offer and it all fell through. I'm just going into Star Trek news now, which I should have done before. Skydance. So Paramount Global officially agrees to Skydance merger with potential big impact on Star Trek's future. It says after months of spin on and off again negotiations, a deal has finally been struck between Paramount Global, owner of the Star Trek franchise, and Skydance Media. The deal was officially announced by Paramount Global late on Sunday night. After the corporation's board approved the deal, the new leadership team laid out their plans for the new Paramount this morning, including some mentions of Star Trek. It goes on about, but I'm seeing things about Star Trek. No, it's just going on. Apparently, it's the actual transaction agreement includes a 45-day go shop period during which Paramount Global can evaluate alternative acquisition proposals. So it's all the actual things that they go through. Star Trek executive producer to run Paramount's since the 1960s, with Desilu was purchased by Paramount. The Star Trek franchise has seen its way through multiple corporate changes. It is too early to know what this announcement means for Star Trek franchise, but this deal was seen as one of the better potential outcomes. Unlike other potential bidders, Skydance is committed to keeping Paramount relatively intact, avoiding any potential division of the Star Trek rights that occurred during the Viacom/CBS corporate splits. Remember when the movies went one way and the TV was another one before they re-emerged in 2019? The most positive indication for Star Trek is that Skydance previously partnered with Paramount on the production of the last two Star Trek films, and they were committed to backing the next movie currently in development. Skydance CEO David Ellison, who will run the new Paramount, was credited as an executive producer for both Star Trek Into Darkness and Beyond. These movies were mentioned by Ellison in a call with investors this morning. So obviously a lot of people don't like the Kelvin movies, but it shows that some of the big people higher up have some already previous experience in the Star Trek franchise. So what do you think, Martin? Good? Indifferent? What do you think about it?
Oh, I don't know. It's just like you get all these big corporations coming and buying up franchises and just fuck it up, don't they?
It just seems to be that a company sort of like tries to make money, it fails, then another company sort of like buys it and gets their oar in, and then I don't know. It's too early to tell.
I mean, with Doctor Who experience and
What Disney, you mean? And
I think Star Trek should remain with Paramount, and they should have. In the 90s, they had the right people on it, didn't they? It worked, whatever it was, it worked. But today it's all over the place. So I don't know. I just don't bother now.
I am finally trying to watch Star Trek Prodigy, which I tried before. I've got up to about episode 11 or 12, and it's actually all right. I mean, obviously it's focused on, well, although it's targeting a younger audience, it has got a lot of the Star Trek aspects. It's all the elements are there, like the Starfleet and Federation and all the races and Klingons and Borg and it's a funny show. It's weird. It's a weird sort of mix of different kind of age categories, but I never was a big fan of the Lower Decks. I don't think Star Trek should be a comedy cartoon.
I've seen first season. After that, I can't bother with it.
What, Lower Decks?
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people like it, and I can see that it is made for fans of Star Trek, and I quite like The Simpsons. I haven't watched The Simpsons for years, but I used to like it. But I never clicked with it. I didn't mind the crossover with Strange New Worlds. I thought that was quite fun.
I'm a big fan of that.
I thought that was done well. That was clever.
It's a kid, whoever takes it over. I mean, we don't decide that. It's these big corporations, but whoever takes over Star Trek franchise, I hope they can just keep it at the same level as Strange New Worlds, and it might be.
I
It
still
might,
want Star Trek Legacy. I still want a continuation of the 25th
I mean,
century.
Starfleet Academy is going to be next disaster.
Yeah, I'm not that excited about it. I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go. I mean, like I said, I don't know why no one asked for Academy. They all asked for Legacy.
I
Why
can't.
couldn't we have had Legacy?
That's what's going to make them the money.
I know.
Legacy is it's money printed in the bank is legacy.
But is it again like the Doctor Who aspect where they turn their backs on the long-term fans of the franchise to entice new?
I think we're starting to see that.
Because that's a parallel with the current Doctor Who, which we've had many discussions about.
Yeah.
Why do they do that? Why can't we?
I don't know, because I think they're looking at a younger market to grow with it.
Yeah, but is this stuff really inaccessible then to younger audience? If they do an Academy thing, like Star Trek 90210, then Star Trek Legacy, which is
they're getting it, and then they're thinking younger audience will get older and stay with it. But yeah, again, it was the original fan base that kept it alive, and this is how they treat you. So it's quite,
I suppose
that's why I'm not loyal to a lot of it anymore.
I suppose the difference between Star Trek and Doctor Who is that Doctor Who has, well, I know it's had spin-offs before, but at the moment it's just got the ones. I know they've got this Sea Devils thing, which I don't know what the fuck they're doing that, coming along, which I'm very underwhelmed about, quite frankly. But at least with Star Trek, you had the kiddie one, Prodigy, you had the comedy one, you had Lower Decks, you had the more long-term fan-based one, which was obviously Picard Season 3 and Strange New Worlds. And then you had Discovery, which was kind of like what the fuck was to everybody. So nobody knew what that was about. So Discovery is such a strange series. Anyway, so that's that. So although we are going to come back and review Acolyte. So you saw episode 6. This is the one with the Sith Lord decides to have a sort of like a nude sort of sink in the water and some thing with one of the sisters, and he's just sort of like talking about nothing. I mean, that episode was shy. I mean, what the hell was that about? That was terrible.
It said it is the power of two, and then we saw the scar on his back.
Yeah.
And then with bald green head with tattoos on her head, that alien. She knows more. She knows more than what's going on.
Yeah, I know.
And I do came out with something interesting the other week. There could be somebody else in the back.
Well, I always assumed there was. We've already said this. I assumed that you'd have an acolyte. No, you'd have an apprentice, and you'd have the master. But eventually,
somebody did his back in. That'll have been his master.
Yeah, but are we going to see the master? I mean, I was hoping we would, but I'm starting to wonder now.
I think the master's still alive.
What if it's the green Jedi woman?
Apprentice set the master out.
Oh, I bet it's the green Jedi woman. I bet it's her. I bet she's actually the secret.
Hey,
like they did with Palpatine, where Palpatine was like in the background. He was like the senator. I bet it's her. I bet she's the actual. No, I don't know. I bet not.
I think with that green baldy alien.
She's got the hollow whip, hasn't she? Oh, sorry.
She knows them. And they're all, we got, it was like with this episode, just right at the end, they just opened the door on that. So obviously this week, we're going to.
I think this week's going to be another flashback episode. We've hardly seen Carrie-Anne Moss at all. I thought we were going to see more of her in flashback form. We saw her for about 3 scenes in the whole bloody series.
I don't mind it. But I
don't mind it. No, I'm actually not. I mean, a lot of people really. I don't hate it as much as most people.
No, I don't.
Because I see a lot of the people that hate it are the people who like follow all the comics and all the books and everything. And I'm just into the visual of TV and movies. And I'm not into the real hardcore of it all, the canon of it all, the whole. Aspect of it, there's all that Star Wars theory will be saying, "Oh, this goes against this happening in this book in 1985."
I don't think it deserves the hammering it's been getting.
I don't think so either. I mean, I've been better with this now.
I don't. I mean, I don't watch it, but I was talking to a mate on Sunday, and he watched number 5, and
5 was the best one.
Because 3 of us last week when he took the helmet off. it was like, well, who the fuck's that? It's what he said. It's what he said. Well, is it him? Like the big reveal.
I mean, do you think it should have been some sort of more grandiose kind of like
I don't
like an alien or something like something rather than this guy like oh you might know me as Sith, you might know me. Now I'm going to go and have a dip in the water and I'm going to get my Sith Todger out and whatever.
Oh yeah, well you mean when he stands there naked?
Yeah, and he
give me my clothes.
And he dunks his sword and two Death Stars, doesn't he? His lightsaber and two Death Stars. He has a bit of a dunk in the water kind of thing.
He's like,
and look at the Sith on that.
Now he's dumped the other sister. She's pretending to be her, but he knows who she is. Yeah. But if he's a fucking Jedi Master, he'd know it wasn't her. He'd be able to sense it.
Yeah, I know.
It would. And I mean, it works against it.
Do you know who loves it? Malcolm loves it. He said to me, it's the best thing he's ever seen. He says he can't wait. He can't wait for the next episode. No, joke. He hates it.
Okay.
And he has these big like text like, "Did you see this?" And I do try to reply to this. I'm normally driving about during the week, so I'm quite busy. So, but I just think, yeah, I know where you're coming from, Malcolm. I know where you're coming from. And he'll be, do you know what? He'll be watching this on Thursday, and he'll be texting me saying, "Well, you said that, and you said that." And yeah, Malcolm, I know what you mean, mate. I can't. When we've seen it properly, I'm going to give a proper opinion of it. I mean, we were slating Andor when that was going on. We haven't slated this as badly as when we were watching Cyril, even though for some reason that series is much better on a rewatch. At the moment, I can see it's got problems. I can see it's against long-term, canon in written form or whatever, or comic form, but I'm still all right with it. I don't hate it as much as...
Well, I mean, the only way it can serve itself, I like I said, I agree with you. I think there has to be something else more to him. And if it's a crap ending, if there's a crap ending where nothing happens and there's no other aspects, then I'm going to come down a lot harder when we do our review. Oh yeah. Well, that's what I'm waiting for. But I think if there is another Sith Master in the background, which I hope there is,
I would assume there would be.
I suspect it is. Then I'd be. I think that you might at least get some kind of payoff towards end of series. But I don't have a lot of faith at the moment.
You got to have faith of the heart. That's what it is.
Yeah.
No one's going to stop.
We need to play a second of that.
What, get a copyright strike for the music?
Yeah.
All right. So we've only got 1 minute before we pause for the movie review. Anything in the last minute and a half you want to news wise?
No.
Nothing coming along. I don't think I've seen anything else actually. I'm trying to think. No, it's been pretty shit, hasn't it? All right then, Martin. At that point, then we are now going to go into our movie focus of the week. Here we go.
It's the
Solar Sci-Fi
focus of the week.
Right, and we're back, and we are reviewing a film from 1991, which features Timothy Dalton who's a dodgy Nazi British guy, which is quite interesting. It stars Billy Campbell, who I remember in an episode of The Next Generation. Timothy Dalton, as we said, Terry O'Quinn, who of course I remember from Lost, and that is of course The Rocketeer from 1991. And before I forget, because Malcolm will kill me, he says, you got to mention that this film was inspired from those old 1930s morning cereal things that they used to have with the member of the jetpacks and things like that.
Yeah. Guy loaded them all. Got King of the Rocket Men.
That's the one.
And Commander Cody, and he takes a load of Martians.
Yes, and I did remember seeing those a long time ago. And I remember they also featured on Star Trek with the Captain Proton thing.
RKO. There's one stat, you'd have that fucking... Remember that play?
Yeah, that's it. I know the ones. Yeah, it was one... When were they made? 30s or 40s? 40s, wasn't it?
It's sort of in between. I think there was sort of just... There were a few... There were loads of them. I've got a favourite one where they go through Atlantis in one of them adventure series. Cliffhangers.
Yeah.
Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers, King of the Rocket Men. They did Batman as well. The Batman had a series as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He carries a gun and he has like 4 foot ears.
Yeah, I
And
think I saw some images of that in the past. He looks really,
yeah,
really
yeah.
odd.
I mean,
Yeah.
they are fascinating viewing. But I did come across somebody had coloured the original Flash Gordon series in. And when you look at the sets, because they're in colour now, they look absolutely spectacular. They really did go over with that, you know.
Do you like the fact that they can colorize a lot of these old? Because the colorization is getting better, isn't it?
It's getting better. It does look a bit artificial.
It still looks a bit off. I mean, like the new Doctor Who and the Daleks, the color one that they redid last year for the anniversary. And like the TARDIS floor is bright blue, and I'm sure it wasn't bright blue. It was kind of, they did some odd color ideas because they're guessing.
It's just sort of tinted out. It's something not right.
Something's not quite right, is it?
You see Charles Emmett played Ming. You see him in colour, and Larry Buster Crabbe as Flash, and it's sort of interesting. You know, seeing it in colour. You know, and yeah, but it does look a bit sort of fake. We're not quite there yet. Do you know what I mean? But it is nice. It's the sets, what you finally seen in colour, you know, and I quite like that.
I mean, it's like the AI thing, isn't it? How it's all sort of getting better and stuff like that.
Because, like, I know we're going into Rocketeer, and this is to do with it. When they made Flash Gordon in the 80s, the sets similar to that, the outrageous, colourful.
Yes. They replicated the colours from the old. Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
And even the look of the sets was the same. If they'd have been in colour back then, that's what they would have looked. They would.
We'll have to do Flash Gordon at some point.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of that's why I mean, you know, we are talking about having this break, but there are so many films that we review, but there's still so many. We've done most TV series, I think, that we like.
Yeah, we haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg yet.
There's so many things that you and I have both seen, and sometimes we recommend stuff to each other we haven't seen. But that's the thing about this show. I mean, I know we obviously, with franchises, we'll go back to different iterations of a franchise, like Stargate, Doctor Who, Star Trek. But there's so many movies. We
have to cover the old RKO classics because the Rocketeer is taken straight from all that.
Yeah, this is exactly why I mentioned it, because based on Malcolm.
When you watch King of the Rocket Men, you know he's on the cable. I mean, they did try.
But what do you think about Star Trek Voyager, like taking the piss out of it, making Captain Proton? I mean, that was quite interesting that they took that dynamic, didn't they?
And it's fire up the death ray.
Yes.
I mean, that's but it, like our parents, like when I was growing up, I don't know if you did. Did you ever go to children's matinee when you were a kid on a Saturday?
No, I don't think I did.
My parents used to drop me off every Saturday.
Right.
It was like that. You'd get put into cinema and they'd show all that stuff with kids. Children's Film Foundation movie. That a load of stopping some criminals, you know.
All I remember as a kid was the two oldest things. It was the oldest things on TV I remember was the ones that you just said. What the names again? The actual old shows again?
Flash Gordon. And
I knew Flash Gordon, but the one you said, the Rocket Man or whatever it is. But I also remember I was a big fan of
the show
and Lauren Hardy. They used to show that, and then Lauren Hardy, and I loved Lauren Hardy.
Oh, I do.
I've got them all, and it's I know it's different. Obviously, it's comedy and it's not anything, but it was made about the same time. And I love the way that they did stuff. And a lot of that stuff now is heading towards 100 years old.
Yeah, no, did one film. She only did film in colour.
Which one?
Laurel and
Hardy. They did colorize some of their old stuff. I don't know if any of theirs were color in the end. I don't think they were. There might be maybe the very
left as it is.
And they recolor it, and some of them they've stabilized the images with AI because it looks shaky. That really works, but don't colorize stuff. You can't colorize Lauren Hardy, and same with the old Rocket.
That's what makes it a classic.
Yeah, and the same with the Flash Gordons and the old shows. It's kind of like it's indicative of when they were made, and your perspective changes if they put this artificial color in it. I know that this is obviously off topic, but the reason why we've been talking about this old shows is that the Rocketeer came along in 1991, and it
Yep.
was really for people who had seen these old serials
Yeah, well,
back
it
in the
was.
day, and they made it in a sort of at the time. Well, it was made, and actually, it was the time period that they did it was 1938, so it would have been a similar time to when these old serials were actually shown, and that must be done on purpose. Of course,
Yeah.
another factor was
They
the
were cheap
idea.
to make. They used all the film sets.
Yes, and
Big
they
blockbusters
but they
back
had
in the
this but they had this great idea of this inventor creates this rocket, and it's a jetpack. It's the first jetpack, and Germany have been trying to do it. Of course, they're on the cusp of entering into World War II. Germany's one exploded, but the Terry Quinn, the guy that plays Locke on Lost, he's invented this thing, and then he thinks it gets destroyed, and it's not. It's actually in obviously on the plane with the character done by Billy Campbell, and of course it all goes off there, and these people are trying to. He discovers it. He works out to make it work, and then of course he's trying to keep it himself and keep it hidden, and he thinks he can make money out of it as a sort of spectacle kind of thing. So obviously you recommended it. Tell me why you recommended this film. What did you like about it?
I saw this at the cinema
Okay.
and I watched it. And like you said, because I'd seen the older stuff, it showed you what they could have done with King of the Rocket Men today in modern
Right.
setting. I know CGI's a bit dodgy with it now.
It's all right. It's fine. I'm not. I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
I didn't think about any of that. I watched it because he's the hapless hero that stands for the right thing. You don't get a lot of that today. He's just a decent fella. That's what down on his luck. And
That's right.
his friend, I mean, she's a babe. I forgot her name now. She's stunning. Her.
She's very nice.
She was in Labyrinth.
She has a lovely bottom too, but they all have lovely bottoms. But yes, go on.
Yeah. And it's all about like he's in love with her. He wants to win that championship to build that plane.
They're playing, yeah, and yeah.
And it's the American dream, and they want to get it through, and it's a big thing, and then circumstances undo things, and they get the rocket pack, and there's the Nazis, the mafia, the FBI, and then to top it off, we get the Errol Flynn type character played excellently.
All right, Timothy Dalton.
Timothy Dalton. He's just incredible. And I love the assistant he had, the muscle man.
Oh, yeah, the guy's about 6'5" and he's got a hat. Yeah, he's crazy. Yeah.
Very Dick Tracy looking. Type.
Yes, yeah, Dick Tracy. Yeah, I get the Dick Tracy vibe. Yeah, I do get that. I
got this vibe from that film. And when I saw Rocketeer, it was like watching all 2 hours of it. It was like being that film, even now, can transport you out of reality. And it's just a beautiful film all the way through. You're rooting for the hero all the time. You're rooting,
yeah.
And it's a feel-good movie, and it flopped at the cinema. Would you believe?
Oh, did it? Did it flop?
I think it flopped, yeah.
Because I wondered it. Because
there was a planned sequel. There was a planned sequel. They were all going to get a franchise off.
Because spoilers, obviously, but at the end of the actual film, the actual rocket seems to get destroyed with the Timothy Dalton character, doesn't it?
He redesigned it, the engineering fella, didn't he?
Did he? Because I know that I know he had plans of it. They had a sketch. Oh, he did. Yeah. Okay. Oh, maybe I missed that bit.
And it was up to a sequel, but there was a great image of him. A friend of mine had a statue, and it was of the Rocketeer, and he's got the gun in his hand with all the leather jacket and the helmet and the jetpack, holding the American flag, and it especially in the pre-war setting, he's like a hero at that time. You could see him taking on the Nazis.
Yeah.
You know, stopping some insidious scheme in the jetpack. And it was something about that. It was just when I see a film where there's no dark, sinister agenda, he's just a hapless hero, a nice dude thrown into a situation that he's haplessly trying to survive through it. Oh, there's no plan. He just goes at it all the time. There's no, do you know what I mean? And the film was spectacular.
Yeah.
And the guy played the mafia bosses when they turned on the Nazis. and the airship and that scene.
Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah,
It brings in that. And the one thing I did like in it, the Nazi promotional film of German soldiers in rocket packs flying in
yeah,
armor.
flying over into America and
Oh,
taking over
that
as an invasion
is-
force. Yeah, I like that
and
too. I like
and
that too.
Howard Hughes and bringing Howard Hughes into it as well.
Yep, yep.
Very. You could see it tying up with quite a lot of superhero Second World War type movies, and it brought the glamour and the magic of that. Even that nightclub they went to reminds you of that era. You know, that nightclub, glamorous,
and the music and James Horner did the music, and his music's always very iconic, and he has that. But mind you, it always sounds like you're watching Star Trek To the Wrath of Khan or The Search of Spock. He always had he always has that similar vibe to his music, and his music stood out in this film, which I was very pleasantly surprised when I saw his name come up in the credits at the beginning, because I did see this film, I think, but I think I must have seen it 20, 30 years ago when it soon came out, and I'd almost completely forgotten it. Yeah, I mean it's been quite a long film.
It's a shame because is it Billy Campbell, the guy that played the Rocketeer?
Billy Campbell, yeah. He
should have been a Hollywood star, and it should have been.
I think this, if I remember correctly, he thought that this was going to be his catalyst for being a Hollywood film star. And I remember now, because I think I used to get TV's magazine, which is out in the 90s. And I remember something about him thinking that it was going to be him becoming famous. And then, of course, I didn't know that it flopped, but he did sort of disappear after that. He didn't sort of see him very prominent in big movies.
It didn't do that well. It didn't do it. It might have done so well, but it wasn't
that kind of like what they
I think they would have hoping for like an Indiana Jones, because you could like in that world like Indiana Jones, that pre-war setting of where it's all building. You could see the Rocketeer. You could fit him into an Indiana Jones movie.
No, I was interested. I was thinking at
that 1940s early pre-war thing.
Yeah,
and, stopping Nazi saboteurs from getting hold of something or building a weapon at Rocketeer, and you get them sort of heroes of that time, Indiana. It had that environment of that, and I just thought it was a magical film. And when it got released on home video, it was a smash hit.
Oh, really?
People were screaming through the rafters about this.
Sometimes things just work better on home video than they do in the cinema.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because you think that. What's the difference between going to a cinema and saying, "Oh, let's watch that," or going to a video store and saying, "Oh, let's watch that"?
I think it's one of the best feel-good movies ever made for me.
Yeah,
it's flawless, isn't it? It's flawless. It is.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I don't think I wouldn't put it as high a category as that for me, but I did think it was a pleasant film. It had good characters, it had some good bad guys. It had a lot of Star Trek actors. One actor who I only just saw and recognized him when I watched it yesterday, and I don't think he had any lines of dialogue, was Clint Howard. Yeah. Aylock was in it. He was in it in one scene behind Timothy Dalton. I thought, is that Clint Howard? It was. Max Grodejic, who obviously played Rom, he was there at the beginning. I liked seeing him. And there was, of course, Terry Quinn from Lost? Of course, he was in Star Trek as well. So there's a lot of familiar actors in that.
I thought,
go on.
I thought Timothy Dalton when he put the rocket pack on and he was like ready to fly off, and he took the chewing gum off the
booster thing,
and he went and boosted off like
as you do,
and it just exploded. I just thought, because I think what it was, the hero. Normally, you get these hero types, they're always sort of one step ahead at the villain towards the end, and that was the only time he sort of planned something quite simple. And when he took the chewing gum off the jetpack, and I sort of quite like that. But most of the time, he didn't have a clue what he was doing. He was just trying to get through everything. All he had to
go
do,
along with it, just going through it, kind of thing. Yeah, that was interesting.
And every time you say that when he was trying it on with it all the time, and it was all going wrong. All his swerving cameras. I think he was based on Errol Flynn, apparently.
Yeah, you said that. Yeah, I mean, because obviously the female character, what was her name, Jenny, she wanted to be an actress, and she was like an extra on this thing that they were
Yes, sure.
making. And then of
Yeah.
course he finds out that Jenny is the potential girlfriend of the guy who's got the booster, and then he starts to. Yeah, I liked it. It kept me invested in watching. I never got bored. I like this. I like the way it progressed. I like the idea. Yeah, it was a good film.
I could have seen the sequel to this.
That's my next question. If they made a sequel, what do you think they could have done to proceed with this? Do you think they could have been like some more Nazi involvement or what?
Yeah, it'd be definitely Nazi involvement. They'd have built some secret weapon or something, and they'd have rebuilt the rocket pack, and he'd have come like he'd have probably been more of a superhero type character in it, but he would have gone out there to stop the figures, the Rocketeer. He did look like a superhero, he did, and that's what were great about it. I think he would be, it'd be pre-war, definitely, with some Nazi scheme in America, and he'd stop it. There'd be something. Or they've got hold of an equivalent of the technology. There'd be something. I could see 2 more movies if this had gone the way they were hoping.
So why do you think then? I mean, do you think it was on at the time there was competition in the cinema, which perhaps made it not
don't know.
come out a bit? Or
I don't know, because I know that I saw an interview with him a couple of years ago, and he ended up on television. I think he got a good career in television, did Billy Campbell. But I think that was.
I think he was on TV. He was on TV.
I read an article figure in SFX, because over years that film's popped up in so many sci-fi mags about people's love for it.
Yeah, I've not encountered it as much as perhaps you have. I mean, I was aware of it, but
I've encountered it a lot in my life.
I haven't actually. I've not myself. I haven't actually. I don't know whether maybe you've just been around the circles of people that have actually sort of like. I mean, I was aware of it. I had seen it, but I hadn't. Like I said, I'm glad it fell out of my spectrum, out of my.
I mean, Timothy Dalton obviously is the start of the movie. He's the big name in the film. It's Timothy Dalton, but Billy Campbell, I thought. They got a new leading man in. I thought he had it, and I thought he could. I was so surprised that his career never took off, because what I've seen he seems a really nice guy.
He was in The Next Generation, wasn't he? He was a character.
Yeah, he was that super soldier.
No, Billy Campbell? No, he was the. No, he was the guy that there was an episode with a girl. A princess and another guy on another planet, and he was it was a season 2 Next Generation. Let me just
for that super soldier.
No, that was season 3.
Right.
No, okay. I know the one. I know the actual. No, let me have a look what episode he was in, because it was an episode. It was season 1. I remember it was season 1. It was the early Next Generation days, and apparently he's actually come back as I think was it Uranus or something. I'm trying to think what it was now. And
that one before Rocketeer.
Yeah, this was about 1987. This is partly maybe while he was on Rocketeer.
Way up in his career then.
William, Captain Thaddeus O'Connor, O'Connor, Next Generation. Oh God, that's bugging me now. Let me just find the episode because I want to talk about that because. Oh God, it wasn't Justice, wasn't the battle.
So with that captain where they're trying to pursue his spaceship in the two, is that him? In second or first season?
Oh God.
So, captain or something, and the one is a bit of a charmer and con man, and Wesley's right impressed by him.
Maybe it was season 2. Let me have a look at it. Sorry. Oh God. It tells me it's in Captain O'Connor, but it doesn't say. Oh yeah, it is The Outrageous O'Connor, season 2, episode 4, and it was the episode the Enterprise rescues the captain of a broken down freighter, only to become involved in a dispute between 2 feuding worlds, each demanding custody of their guest. The Outrageous O'Connor, quite a weak episode of season 2 of The Next Generation. That's the first time I saw him. Yeah, it's quite a forgettable episode. But he was all right. I mean, I did, when I saw him in The Rocketeer, I did remember him from The Next Generation, which he did about 4 years before that. But as you say, he's since then the actor Campbell has been more on TV stuff. Not a lot of science fiction, a lot of stuff I've encountered him in since The Rocketeer in TV format. But no, I thought he was very, very good though. But yeah, it's just a shame that he. Let's just see what else he's actually been in. Actually,
All right, I've got it here.
go on.
The box office. Rocketeer was released in the United States, earning 9.6 million in its opening weekend. They showed it in 1,600 theatres. Dick Cook, president of Disney's, you remember Buena Vista distributor unit, said, "We've got to be pleased the way it performed, especially since it's not a sequel and has no big-time stars." Well, I think they were there. The film opened far behind Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, City Slickers, and Dying Young, and eventually it grossed only 46 million in US box office, making it a commercial disappointment outside the US and Canada. The film, so it was like.
Well, how much did it cost to make? Oh no, he says 35 now. It was budget of 35 million, and the US, as you just said, the US and Canada got 46 million, and world gross world was 46. So is that total? Is that added together then? 46 and 46.
I suppose that, yeah, because there's
marketing. So that'd be about what, 1.9?
Yeah, don't forget there's the marketing budget and the marketing.
So it wasn't. So it sounds like it wasn't a major flop. It probably broke even, or maybe you lost a little bit.
But look what it was up against at the time. Prince of
City Slicker. Yeah, was that one with that awful song that was played for?
Brian.
I couldn't stand that bloody song, and it went on. It was on like in the British charts for like 12 weeks. And at the time, that's when I used to watch Top of the Pops and stuff like that. And every week this drone, and I refused to ever watch that Robin Hood film because of that.
That's like Rocketeer. I mean, I'm a big fan of the first one. I wanted the second one, but when you've got a lineup of City Slickers, Prince of Thieves, I mean, that were number
Prince
one.
of Thieves. I've never been a Robin Hood fan. I've never found it interesting at all.
Film as a one-off. It's one of them. It's the filling for me. It's a filling movie.
Yeah,
that were like.
That's what it lost against. Yeah, City Slickers. That was the. Was that one with Steve Martin? Wasn't it in Chevy Chase?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I haven't seen that one for a long time.
Yeah, it was a big hit. But Rocketeer, if they developed it probably a couple of more months and released it when the one.
So it might have actually taken off.
I think they'd have been sat on $100 million hit.
Yeah, that's a real shame.
Because sometimes films get made and they're masterpieces, and they just get the circumstances.
Look at the thing when it came out. It was against E.T.
So that's
the Thing to me is one of the greatest films I've ever seen in my entire life.
No, it goes beyond that. Do you know what they say about that? They say it's one of the greatest science fiction films ever.
I'll definitely put it up there.
I know.
Yeah. But luckily, that had actor, obviously Kurt Russell in that film did well and stuff like that.
Yeah, so. I think it's circumstances that everybody, like I suppose Prince of Thieves, you took your partners to see it.
Yeah.
He's one of them family. Again, Rocketeer offered all that, didn't it? It's a family movie, isn't it? It offers all that what Prince of Thieves offered. But I think the song were number one. It kept the film so prevalent.
I think it was the bloody song. I think it was that sodding song.
Stop the Rocketeer from being
because it was another way of stimulating interest in the movie and taking away from the Rocketeer. So I think it was bad luck, which is a real shame.
But Kurt Russell made Soldier, and that
which I enjoyed. We obviously reviewed that recently.
Yeah, that cost 80-odd million to make, and they won't release it. They released it at a few cinemas, it just bombed. As soon as it went to home video, it's now classed as one of the best films ever made.
But it's like some certain movies now are not even being released in cinema; they just go straight to streaming, which I think is quite interesting. Like we were talking about the new Beverly Hills Cop movie, which I just saw and I enjoyed, and that wasn't released in cinema. And like, hang on, that was in 1984 when it came out in cinema. It was a huge cinematic movie. Why was it on Netflix? I don't understand.
Well, they paid a shitload of money to make it, didn't they?
Well, yeah, but wouldn't they make more money if it was at the box office rather than on Netflix?
No,
Or
apparently not, because when they distribute a film to a cinema, you've got to pay, the cinema takes its
you mean the
cut.
fees and okay.
It's how it works. It's something like, so say you made a film and you released it, I don't know, to Odeon chain or whatever. You get a percentage, but they take a percentage because you're using their, unless if you own the cinemas,
Yeah.
and you're all right. But if you're putting it out to View and all these other cinemas, they take a percent. That's how they make their money.
So that's why Netflix just decided to stream it. Yeah.
You notice for some films get pulled in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it's like. It's cutthroat. And don't forget as well, the marketing budget for some of it. Look at the Flash debacle last year, 350 million. The advertising budget were like 160 million.
It's that high. It's that big. Yeah.
And it only took 65 million.
Yeah.
That's a loss of nearly 500 million quid. It's, you know, they make these things like so. Like if you put it out on Netflix, people pay. Obviously, that's number one at the moment. Is Beverly Hills.
Sure.
Because I were on Netflix watching it, the chart came. It always comes up. It's the top thing in the UK. Are they going to get the money back through that? They'll get the money back. But it's, you know, it's cheaper to put it. That's why, have you noticed films now get put onto digital formats really quick?
Well, this is what I mean, because I'm waiting for the digital format of the new Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh,
and
God,
you told me recently it's in July, so that's going to be out soon, and I cannot wait to see that when it's out in digital.
Actually, what day? It might be out today or something.
Okay, well, I'll have a look into that one and check it out. And obviously,
I think I'm sure it's July 8th, unless it's.
It could be. I'll double check, but I mean, I'll definitely want to check that out.
That's done incredibly well at the cinema.
Yeah, but that was what you're saying is, although that went to the cinema, when was it in the cinema? What, 6 weeks ago? It wasn't that long ago.
Not long ago, no.
You know, back in the days when you used to have to wait like 6 months for a film or a year to see a video after the cinema.
I remember saying I went to see Star Trek Borg one next gen, and it was about 8 months until it
First Contact. That was 1996. 1996.
I got older for like some dodgy pirate copy of the video. But
as you do,
when it got released, it was about 8 months later on VHS.
Yeah, I know. It's
You
weird.
know, and now look at the release of film, and if it's no good, the creator, which I love that film.
I love that film.
Digital within 2 months.
Yeah, and I still like. A lot of people weren't that mad on it. You and I both really, really liked it. Really liked it. So
I paid $13.99 to go see Kingdom Planet of the Apes, and I don't regret any of that what I paid for it. It's the only film I've been to see at cinema this year where I paid that amount of money. I paid £5 for other films, but that, because it was in a really nice cinema.
Oh, a good one, yeah.
It was worth every penny because the film was open. It's expanded the universe. They can do what they want now. And
well, no spoilers, because I've not seen it, but I can't wait to see it. I'm going to definitely review that with you. Yeah. That's brilliant.
Oh, so it was just worth it, you know. And the Rocketeer.
Yep.
It should have been like that when it come out, and it's just circumstance of that bloody song.
So before we give it a rating on the shelf value, remake possible?
Would you have it in the collection?
Well, before we do the collection, then let's just ask: would you think they'll ever remake the Rocketeer in 2024?
Well, there's been rumours. I mean, I read an article last year that there's been several rewrites of it to do it, but nothing's materialised. There is a lot of film doubt. They're trying to get old. Who's that annoying one that did the Star Trek films?
Which one?
Lost. I forgot his name now.
Oh, J.J. Abrams.
I mean,
he's a twat. I don't like him. He's a twat.
Twat now, but
I don't like it. I used to think he was good, but I don't now. I think he's an idiot.
He was interested.
He hasn't got a clue. You mess it up. Don't get him involved with it.
No. He was interested. There's been a few of them. James Gunn were interested as well.
I don't know about James Gunn, but J.J. Abrams, no. After Lost, which is shite.
He did Guardians of the Galaxy, but he was.
Oh, that's all right. Guardians of the Galaxy is all right.
But it moved on.
Oh, okay.
It's out there, but there has been 3 or 4 rewrites of it. You know, and I'm surprised Disney has not got a sequel or remake of it out.
I think a remake could work. I think they could.
I think it could. I
it
think
might do. It's quite a lot. Mind you, I
but
mean,
it's got to be done right because in that film that you've got that magic in it and the casting. I mean, it said on that Wikipedia review the casting were unknowns, but I don't think you had Jennifer. What is it? She was quite well known.
yes.
Timothy Dalton, him that played him from Lost. I mean,
Harry Quinn, I think.
Yeah, great actor.
Yeah.
And they played it out beautifully. It's just it's circumstance, but you could remake that today. But it's got.
But just to quickly ask you though, but do you think though, even though it didn't work, one of the reasons why it should have worked in 1991 was that people remember as being younger, seeing those old series on the TVs when they were kids from the 1930s versions, which we both talked about. We used to watch Laurel and Hardy and all these old shows, right? But now it's 2024. Isn't that further away, and then it'd be less accessible?
Well, I watched King at Rocketman a few months ago.
Okay.
And it was like it. To be honest, I watched Commander Cody. I was watching it because somebody on YouTube got all the episodes, banged it all together in like an 8-hour.
Oh, man, they added. Oh, that's quite cool.
I watched Alt Cliff. So you know what? Because everyone had a cliffhanger, didn't it?
Yeah, like you'd fall off the cliff and his rocket wasn't working.
Because each episode was 20 minutes, and I watched it over a couple of nights, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. But the Rocketeer showed you could go into that older universe, bring them characters out, and create something totally new with them characters. That's why I said, like, you could imagine Rocketeer teaming up with Indiana Jones, you know?
Yeah, I could see the crossover. All right, then, so let's wrap this one up then. So, the obvious question: would you keep this in your collection? Would this be part of your collection?
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah, I think so, and definitely for me as well. And rating out of 10, sir? 10.
Yeah.
I won't give it as high as that. I'll give it 8. I liked it. Yeah, I liked it, but not as much as you did. I think because I've not seen it for such a long time, I did like it. I thought I liked it a lot, but I think an 8 is a fair.
All right. So,
but it's definitely a keepable one. So that's really good. Right then, so we're going to wrap up now. We're going to be on a hiatus now. We might come back. We're going to be over the summer. We're going to have a little bit of a break. Because we've been doing this nearly 5 years, and we do have the odd week off. But we've got things in our lives to do. We're sick of each other, aren't we, Martin? We're sick of the sight of each other every week, aren't we?
Yes,
you know what I mean? And
I don't have to stay in this box till next.
Yeah, exactly. And you see these TARDISes flying behind me all the time.
Can I go?
But we might come back. We're going to be back definitely late August, maybe September. But we're going to probably come back one special to review the Acolyte Series 1 or Season 1, because I think that might be worth doing. But we will be back. I'll be back. You'll be back. We are not going anywhere. We have a real good laugh doing this. We're not far from episode 200, which Martin's very excited about as well, which would be really cool. And we're going to get some sun, aren't we, Martin? We're going to do some.
Yes, I want sun, blue skies.
I'm not in the UK. I think you need to get on a plane and go somewhere else.
But it's just. Well, it just feels like September.
It feels like shite. It's felt like shite the whole summer. It's been shit ever since day 1 of January 2024. And so, I'm afraid the UK weather's let us down, and it's time to piss off out of it. Go somewhere warm and get a tan. So, Martin, thank you very much. We'll be back, like I said, soon, but not straight away. So don't forget, all our old shows are on either on audio, on YouTube. Check them out. We've had some great guests, some great fun. Obviously, Malcolm as well. Malcolm will be back hopefully at some point soon as well. But like I said, I'm going to leave this week then with the worst ever special effects ever. It was an Indian film, which looks like it's an Indian werewolf film. And it's this guy who he gets this weird look at this from this dog who gives him this like laser beams. And then I don't know whether he's supposed to be turning into a werewolf or turning into a big humanoid dog, but it's very, very funny and it's worth a share. So I hope you enjoy that. Obviously, if you're listening on audio, you won't get that bit because you won't know what the fuck what's going on. So we won't have that for you guys. But never mind. Martin, thank you as always for being such a good co-host. And we'll be back soon. Maybe not straight away, but we'll be back soon on the Solar One Sci-Fi podcast. Live long and prosper.
Yep, live long and prosper.
They guide the way on the Solo and Sci-Fi podcast, where sci-fi holds